If you're going to build a house, whether that's with your own two hands or by hiring a contractor, you need to prepare yourself to have to make a lot of decisions. Now, if you have a builder, they're going to make a lot of the decisions for you. So there's fewer if you go that route, but there is still a ton. And most of the decisions are really tough because there's not necessarily one right answer. Think about the decision to pick a color of paint. I mean, there's a couple wrong answers, but there's infinite correct answers, and it's just a matter of preference. And you got to make that call, and you can only pick one. These are the same guys who did the framing on this house, and unlike the framing, the siding is a major aesthetic component of how the house looks. And there's a lot of ways to dress it up and detail it. Sometimes you'll see several different types of siding all on the same house. Around here, a lot of times, the ends of a gable will have a different type of siding. That's what we did on our spec house. The gable ends had more of a shingle type of a siding, although that was also cement board. The windows and doors can be trimmed out more decoratively. There's really no right way to do it. It's 100% a budget calculation. The more complex and detailed, the more cost to the material and labor to make it happen. The highest end siding job would probably also incorporate stone or brick, which is a really timeless look and increases the durability of the whole system. I think a siding job like this is a really good bang for the buck because you're getting the highest quality, material, the cement board siding, but more minimal on the decorative aspects to keep the cost down. So this is a great bang for the buck, which I'm sort of always looking for. By the way, isn't bang for the buck just such a great phrase? It really sums it up. The material is made from a combination of cement, sand, and wood pulp. It's all kind of mixed together into a big wet slurry and then poured and layered into sheets. And then those sheets are pressed together and painted and kind of embossed or stamped with a little wood texture. The idea for this kind of product has been around for a long time. In fact, they first started making it over 100 years ago, but they were making it with asbestos as the fibrous material instead of wood pulp. Think about it. Concrete or cement is brittle and it cracks, and these planks would crack to pieces if they bent or flexed at all. So they're using wood pulp now to help hold it together. Cement siding makes a ton of sense for a ton of reasons. The first, to me, is that it gives your house a level of protection from fire. Now, we live in Oregon. There are forest fires here, and it is a consideration. But that's not the only type of fire. You may have seen a barbecue get out of hand or a campfire, blow over into a house. It happens all the time where fires will start from the outside. That's great. Think about cedar shakes and how flammable those things are. So that it gives your house protection in that way. Also, the bugs don't eat it, and it resists mold, and it's very impact resistant. It takes paint really well, and I think they make a version that comes with the paint baked on, which is even more permanent, so that's pretty neat. I should mention also, it's not just bugs that can attack siding, but woodpeckers. In fact, my neighbor at my old place, his house was always getting munched on because the siding was some type of cedar, I believe. In fact, we had a woodpecker go into town on this very house. So he got right through the OSB, but he's not getting through the hardy board. Little stinker banging on the brand new house. He's lucky I don't have a BB gun right here. That's vandalism. Get out of here. The trim pieces they're putting up are wood. I think they're spruce. Of course, those are flammable. The vinyl windows are flammable. The roof is flammable. So no one's claiming that the whole house is fireproof. It's just a matter of reducing the risk. Now here comes the twist. The yellow planks that they've been installing are from the James Hardie company. But see how they're kind of more gray now? This is a different product from a different company called Semplank. It's basically the same thing. In fact, it might even be the exact same thing. I'm not sure, but it looks identical and the sizes are all the same. And the builder, Mike, says it's indistinguishable, except the Semplank is more affordable. They stopped making it during COVID as part of the supply chain issues that were happening. And right in the middle of this job, the lumberyard was able to get it, and so they started bringing that in to save a few bucks. The last part of this siding job was trimming these porch columns and the beams on both the front and back patio. And it was a little bit tedious, lots of detail work, lots of cuts and caulking, and I didn't film it super up close. The ceilings on these patios are going to be done later with a tongue and groove, and I'll show you that in another video. Now the painters are here. After lots of back and forth and testing, the color we went with was white. This is the same color white as our current house, which Allie painted a couple years ago. I think we showed some of this. So we kind of knew that we liked the color. It was a known quantity, although colors can look very different on different homes and different surfaces. But here it looked really nice. Thanks for watching. Next video, we're going to showcase the front door going in, and that thing is an absolute masterpiece work of art. You're not going to want to miss it. It came from Real Craft up in Seattle. While these guys were putting the siding on, I was kind of putzing around the property, keeping myself busy, and it's springtime, in case you couldn't tell, so there's actually quite a bit of chores to do around the property. First, I cleaned up all the trash and wood scraps, and I had my kids help me. Then I smoothed out all the dirt around the property. It was super rainy all winter, and it was so much mud. I've been looking forward to this for a really long time. Next thing I did was get my weed eater out and knock down all this out of control grass over here. I got this weed eater about a year ago. It's one of those combination tools that can have different attachments go on the end. And overall, I like it, although it is a lot heavier than my old weed eater. Lots of power though. The last thing was to fix a leak in the irrigation. This property has an irrigation system that's kind of shared with a few of the neighbors, and it comes on in the spring. And when it came on this year, boom, there's this big wet spot right in the area where the foundation excavation happened. That was not a very fun hole to dig, but Allie helped. There's the break. I don't know how that happened. Probably the excavator at some point. I spent the most time down in the crawl space, and I'm going to show you guys later exactly what's going on down there and what I was working on and all that. If you watched an earlier video, you may have an idea of the big picture, but for now, I'm going to end this. Thanks for watching. Keep up the good work. We'll catch you guys next time.